All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast production. I'm your casting host, Beef. Joining me once again is Disco, aka Stu. How you doing, Disco.Stu?
Yeah, doing very good, man. Pooh's asked me to let you guys know his catchphrase, and that's hold on to your hats, so I think we can expect a good game.
All right, so every time that Apu is doing real well, we're going to have to use his catchphrase. So going into game 2 of this best of 5 finals here from the Clan Buzz Open number 1 between DarkShadow and Apu, aka Zwirwel. And let's get right into it. In the top right-hand corner, we do have the Purple Zerg up 1-0 in this match. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. It is Apu. Why don't you go ahead and lead us in with the bottom left-hand player?
Yeah, in the bottom left, we've got the blue Terran once again. This is DarkShadow. Let's see if he can maybe pull something out of his hat this time.
Yeah, DarkShadow looking very impressive in some of his games against Wendell. Last game, it looked like he got a little bit flustered after a failed bunker rush. So we'll see what he manages to pull out of his hat and see what he can do with Apu on the other side. Here on Cloud Kingdom, this is a bit smaller of a map than Antigua. It's a little bit harder for a Zerg to really just spread out and expand. A little bit easier for our Terran player to pressure. There's a lot more linear creep spread, so the Terran player might have a little bit easier pushing across the map right now. And there's also some beautiful chokes in different locations right here that really lend themselves toward the Terran player being extremely effective with Marine Siege Tank pushes. Destructible rocks in a couple of key locations right here really just make for beautiful engagements for our Terran player. So we'll see how our Terran does manage to make use of that. For the time being, it looks like DarkShadow is instead opting for an extremely early command center before barracks. So this is going to be a very greedy build. CC first is one of the greediest builds that a Terran can play, but it's also going to be what he needs to do if he wants to compete with the Zerg player in terms of economy. Right now, Apu is using this one drone over here in the 12 o'clock position right now, trying to scout for any proxy wrecks. This is actually a very nice play, something that a lot of lower level players don't incorporate enough into their play. If they're going to go something like hatch first, which is what he is doing, you want to be able to check for proxy wrecks, get a read on what your opponent's doing. So with that drone going to go ahead and move up here into the natural, he's going to spot that command center. He's going to feel a lot more safe himself. Probably actually going to drop a third hatchery very quickly here. Just trying to catch up to his opponent in economy. When you have a command center first, your amount of pressure that the Terran can put on you isn't real high. And the drone actually is going to be able to take that SCV out. A little bit of sloppy control there by DarkShadow, so that's a bit unfortunate. And right there, Apu, was that a bloodlust? Coming from shout out to Breaky CPK. But unlike Breaky CPK, we actually caught it on camera here, so not a big deal. So right now, a gas actually coming out for our Zerg player. Gas before third hatchery, so he is looking to put on a little bit of aggression or just be heavily defensive. But with knowing that his opponent did go CC first, I actually think this is actually going to be a Baneling bust. That's just kind of what I'm thinking here. The third hatchery is going to be going down, so this is going to be an eco Baneling bust if he does indeed choose to do that, or he might just be the player that likes to really get some early gas, get early speedlings, be able to defend any early aggression. And as he is taking quite a while to put drones into that gas, it might not actually be a Baneling bust. Seems to be a little bit more defensive in nature, in fact. So, yeah, the third hatchery, it's not uncommon for Zergs these days to really take advantage of their opponent's greed and try to punish them for it. But with that bunker down in front and a couple of supply depots, it's looking like it's probably not going to be able to Baneling bust too hard. The Overlord that's up on the high ground over here at the Terran Natural is actually able to spot the wall going down. So if he didn't have that Overlord there, he might not know that there was a wall going up, and he might be willing to commit more into a Baneling bust. But with that Overlord being able to spot the defensive measures, nothing too much going to come out of it. The first 100 gas actually being used for a lair So what do you think could be coming out of the lair tech? What's he trying to rush to so fast?
Not really sure. I mean, Infestors worked pretty well last game, so I mean maybe he could be doing that. But I mean, at the moment, you've only got one gas, so unless he starts taking some green bee and some light roach play, maybe.
Yeah, it's very odd right now because normally when you take that lair, everything that comes out of lair is going to be very gas intensive, with the exception of something like roach speed. Even if you're going to get roach speed off of lair tech and then produce roaches, you only need 3 gases. But everything else, whether that's mutalisks, whether that's speed mainlings, whether that is infestors, needs lots and lots of gas. And right now our Zerg player is not producing any gas. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe right now he just wants to be able to get an Overseer up, or maybe upgrade Overlord's speed to try to get a little bit better read on his opponent. But very strange play, that's for sure.
I know he likes to have a macro game. He's very good with his macro.
Okay.
Obviously, being a Zerg player, he's gonna be well expandable anyway. As soon as he had this DarkShadow, he's decided to take a fast expansion. He could very well be taking advantage of it and then reacting after he's got his once he's got his tech up, and then he can just build it all at once.
Sure. And so our Zerg player going all the way up to 4 gases now, trying to get those populated and get his gas income going so that he can take advantage of his lair tech. Meanwhile, back for our Terran player, he has in fact started 2 factories, so it looks like he could be going into mech play right now. Those 2 factories, one of them does have a reactor on it, so he's going to be mass producing Hellions, and as Siege Tank research finishes here, I would expect to see Blue Flame probably started for these Hellions, which would be standard in mech play, along with a couple more factories going to be coming down in addition to maybe a command center at some point here. But right now he's a little bit starved for minerals. His SCV count isn't quite high enough where you'd want it to be. So we'll see how he goes ahead and finishes this up. Blue Flame finally going to be coming out. And Blue Flame Hellions against the Zergling strategy that Apu has been using, going to be very effective. So this mech play going to be pretty interesting. Baneling Nest and Roachwarren going to be starting and completing here pretty soon, along with Zergling speed for our Zerg player. But a heavy Zergling composition does not do very well against all these Blue Flame Hellions. And so it's going to take a while for Apu to realize exactly what's going on right now. This one overload that was placed extremely well, not really in a good position, but actually there is a changeling in his base. This one marine changeling over here by the 2 factories is going to be spotting every single one of the tanks and Hellions that comes by. And when you see this many Hellions and you see a tech lab on one of... There you go. That Hellion finally spots it. But when you see the tech lab actually working and you know that the siege tanks already have siege mode, it's pretty safe to assume that that tech lab is researching Blue Flame. So we'll see how he goes ahead and reacts. Roaches, once again, not the most effective against mech just because tanks are so incredibly effective against the roaches. But we'll see. He could be going into something like drops again. Drops is something that does have pretty good effect against mech. So double evo going to be coming down right now, but look at all these Blue Flame Hellions. A total of 8 Blue Flame Hellions going to be making their way into the 3rd right now. Going to be trying to sidestep some of these spine crawlers, but clearing out all the drone line over here. And Blue Flame Hellions going to be continuing right now. Going to stop and take a couple of shots at these Zerglings to be able to clean up a lot of units as they get into the mineral line over here at the natural. And a couple of big shots onto those drones, and a lot of drones do end up going down. But he does as well lose 8 Hellions, and those Hellions are very important to the mech player just because those are what are going to provide your buffer against the Zerglings. Protect your expensive units like your tanks and your Thors. And right now the Terran player is going to be in a relatively safe position from any aggression with 5 siege tanks up here on the high ground, but he doesn't have any Hellions.
He did manage to kill 13 workers, but I'm not so sure that would have been that's not the best idea.
Yeah, well,
it wasn't that cost-efficient trade.
The other thing about mech is that minerals are essentially free to a mech player. Everything that you're building when you're meching is going to be extremely reliant on gas. So you really don't really care about the Hellions. Whenever you can trade minerals for minerals, that is a very good thing. If you can trade your Hellions for gas units, that's an even better thing. But as those Zerglings move across right there, they take 5 shots from those tanks and absolutely obliterate all but 6 of those Zerglings. The rest of them are going to go home to tell the tale about how they were sieged upon from the high ground and just say, don't you ever go near that ever again. Generations down the line, the Zerg will still tell the tale A Banshee.
We've got a Banshee.
Yeah.
Banshee in there doing a bit of harassment.
Banshee doing a very good job of sniping off a couple of the workers, losing a little bit of mining time over here at the natural, and now making his way into the main, going to be able to rack up his 5th kill, 6th, and even a couple more before he has to get out of there. The Queen managed to put on a little bit of pressure, but nice micro with DarkShadow. That's something else we saw from his game against Wendell, is he does have very good Banshee control. So right now, going to be making his way even into the 3rd. Might be able to snipe one, but as that one Queen does come over, that Banshee will eventually fall, bringing his total worker killed count all the way up to 22. So putting a little bit of harassment onto this Zerg has really paid off. An Overseer did do a flyby over here of the... Oh, it looks like we do have a pause coming out real quick. Let's see what's up. The Overseer did manage to do a flyby through the Terran base over here, managed to get a little bit of a scout, and is actually seeing the 3rd command center come down right now, so we'll see how long this pause does end up going. Oh man, oh man. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your Han career? How'd you get invested in that?
I'm just like play it casually sort of thing, but I've been playing it pretty much since beta. Like I said, with a few mates who I know, we just started playing and recruiting on people. And Forgotten, he was one of the first. He played in this tournament, and Apu as well. He was one of the first to join us. Apu, in fact, when we had his brother came over. They was doing a day trip to England. He came and met me, Basha, Kuno, McToaster in Southend, close to where we live. Went and had a cup of tea, and then all the pizza, played a little bit of StarCraft. It was awesome, absolutely awesome to come over from Norway.
Oh, cool! It's a pretty cool community that you've got going. What rating are you guys playing at most of the time?
Well, if I'm honest with you, I've dropped below 1500, which everyone's going to be laughing at me for now, especially as
oh, I'm sorry.
Just said it live on stream. No, you're alright, yeah. But I mean, a lot of the other players, they were a lot better than me. Like Kuno, he's 1650, something like that. And Forgotten as well, like I said, he played in this, he's just got 1700. So it's around sort of that level, and they kind of keep me floating above 1500. But yeah, need to get back over that now, I think.
Yeah, sure thing. And you guys are playing predominantly on the European server?
That's it, yeah. I've got loads of messages coming at me telling me I'm bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
That's cool, man.
But we might have to get together and play some Han together sometime.
Yeah, it could be a laugh, man. Could be good.
Certainly.
Playing on the American servers ain't too bad either, really.
Yeah, I'm happy to play on either USC store or European.
Yeah. If it gets really late at night, and we're playing at like 4 or 5 in the morning, as you do, if we can't find a game on EU waiting for too long, we'll just go on the American servers and get a game pretty quick.
Certainly.
The Americans seem a lot more friendly than the Europeans as well. I mean, we all know what the Han community is like, but but Americans seem to be a lot more friendly across.
Oh, the game's restarted.
It sure has, yeah. Han's a very fun game, though. I've been playing since closed beta as well, with a little bit of Dota experience before that. But that one Banshee over here in the natural actually managed to rack up another 12 kills, and the amount of drones at the natural is pretty seriously depleted. Banshee does manage to actually get sniped there by the Queens, so not a big deal. As the mech army is actually getting pretty large right now for the Terran player. Quite a few tanks are going to be moving off of that line, going to be taking their show on the road. So it looks like he's going to mount an attack over here onto the 4th base. Blue Flame Hellion's going to be leading the charge right now. And you don't want to show yourself too early and give the Zerg time to react to this. But Mutalisks are actually the choice right now, and that's not going to be what you want to deal with a mech army. Those Thors are absolutely going to clean up any Mutalisks that come out right now.
Yeah.
So I think that the Terran player is actually in a situation where he might be able to capitalize on this right now. A little bit of a poor tech choice from our Zerg player, knowing that he was going against a meching opponent. So all of these drones are forced to evacuate right now. A total of 51 drones that are making their way out of the natural. Blue Flame Hellions against Queens and Spine Crawlers, not exactly what you want, but good enough Thor's going to be sitting back here, and a couple of big volleys on those Mutalisks right there. And look at that. All but one or two of those Mutalisks are going to be in the red or dead. And that is not what you want to have happen as Apu.
Oh man, Thor's hurt. Thor's really hurt Mutalisks.
They sure do. And so Apu going to be taking a 4th base down here at the 3 o'clock position as his 3rd doesn't actually fall. So down to just 2 mining bases, and his main's going to be mined out here in about 3 more minutes. So this is actually looking a pretty dire situation for Apu. The only units that he has available to him right now are a small number of Zerg who just get cleaned up by those Blue Flame Hellions, and the Beetle is trying to go in for a magic box on those Thors, but it is simply not going to happen. Scans coming down, trying to see if there's anything left coming out right now, but DarkShadow is in a commanding lead right now, putting himself poised to take this game and take it to game number 3 here in this best of 5 series. Oh, look at that. Absolutely brutal. Drone's going to be making their way across the map. Drone drilling all the way over there. Going to be walking right by that Thor. Thor says, hey, what? I don't really know what's going on, but I'll take 5 kills. No problem. Back in the natural hatchery does, in fact, get cleaned up. A lot of spine crawlers coming down right now. A total of 10 spine crawlers going to be coming down, trying to defend. But the Mutalisks do get picked off by the Thors, and that is the last combative units from the Zerg player right now. About 10 roaches are on the field over here at the Zelnaga Tower. But GG is called by Apu, and this is going into game 3. Very nice job here by DarkShadow, showing you how Mech can absolutely dismantle a Zerg Uncloud Kingdom.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Alright, any closing words, Stu?
No, like I said last time, looking forward to the next game. It's 1-1 now, so it looks like we got ourselves a series.
Looks like we got a series indeed. Alright, thank you very much for watching. This has been Beef, your casting host. Joining me is Disco.Stu, and we'll see you guys in the next game.
See ya.